The deception unveiled. Commander Elena Rice stood at the viewport of the EFS Defiance, humanity's most advanced warship, watching as the massive alien vessel approached Earth orbit. The alien ship glimmered against the backdrop of stars, its crystalline surface reflecting sunlight in prismatic patterns that would have been beautiful if not for the tension filling the command deck. "Status report," Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of being humanity's first line of defense against this unknown threat. Lieutenant Marcus Chen looked up from his console. "The alien vessel has established a stable orbit, Commander. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, some kind of grating message. Translation software is working on it now." Elena nodded, her dark eyes never leaving the alien ship. Humanity had been sending signals into space for over a century, but this was the first confirmed contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. 6 months ago, Earth's deep space telescopes had detected the approaching vessel, and the world had held its collective breath ever since. "Translation complete," the ship's AI announced. "They're calling themselves the Zephyrian Alliance, representatives of something called the Galactic Council. They're requesting permission to send a diplomatic delegation to Earth." President Kwan's face appeared on the main screen, looking at Elena expectantly. "Commander Rice, your assessment." Elena considered for a moment. "We've detected no weapons activation, Madam President. Their ship's energy signature suggests defensive capabilities only. I recommend cautious acceptance of their request, but under strict security protocols." 2 days later, Elena stood beside President Kwan in the United Nations Assembly Hall as the alien delegation entered. The lead alien, Ambassador Thelax, stood nearly 7 feet tall with iridescent blue skin that seemed to shimmer as he moved. His 4 eyes blinked independently, scanning the room as he approached the podium. "People of Earth," Thelax began, his voice translated through devices the aliens had provided. "We come with an invitation. For millennia, the Galactic Council has maintained peace among the stars. We have observed your species for some time, and we believe you are ready to join our interstellar community." President Kwan smiled diplomatically. "We're honored by your invitation, Ambassador. But I'm curious, why now? We've been broadcasting signals for decades. The Council has protocols," Thalax explained smoothly. "We only initiate contact when a species reaches a certain technological threshold. Your recent quantum computing breakthrough was quite impressive." Elena frowned. That breakthrough had been classified at the highest levels. How did they know about it? Over the next week, the Zephyrians shared knowledge of interstellar travel, offered trade agreements, and proposed cultural exchanges. World leaders were ecstatic about the seemingly generous offers, but Elena couldn't shake her suspicion. Something didn't add up. Late one night, Elena received an urgent message from Dr. Sophia Williams, Earth's leading quantum physicist. "Commander, I've been analyzing the translation devices the Zephyrians gave us," Dr. Williams said, her face grave on the screen. "They're not just translators. They're collecting data, scanning our networks, recording our conversations, mapping our infrastructure." Elena's blood ran cold. "Are you certain?" "Absolutely. And there's more. The technology they're offering us, it's outdated. Based on my calculations, what they're sharing is at least a century behind what their ship is using." Elena immediately ordered a covert scan of the Zephyrian vessel. The results confirmed her worst fears. Their ship was bristling with weapon systems they'd never disclose, and the energy readings suggested capabilities far beyond what they'd shared with Earth. She brought her findings to a secret meeting with President Kwan and the Security Council. "They're lying to us," Elena stated bluntly. "And they're spying on everything we do." Admiral Jackson leaned forward. "What's their endgame?" Dr. Williams pulled up a holographic display. "Based on the data patterns they're collecting, they're assessing our defenses, resource distribution, and population centers. This isn't a peace mission. It's reconnaissance for a potential occupation." President Kwan's face hardened. "And their Galactic Council?" "We've been monitoring their communications," Elena replied. "From what we can tell, The Council functions more like an empire than a federation. Member species aren't equal partners, they're subjects. Their resources are exploited, their military capabilities restricted, and their territories managed by Council representatives. The next day, Ambassador Thilax presented the formal invitation to join the Galactic Council, complete with a treaty outlining Earth's rights and responsibilities. Elena stood at President Kwan's side as she accepted the document with a gracious smile. "We'll need time to review this, of course. Our legislative bodies must approve any binding agreement." Thilax's upper eyes narrowed slightly. "Of course, but the Council expects an answer within your solar week. A ceremonial delegation from Earth should be prepared to travel to the Council homeworld for the formal induction." After Thilax departed, President Kwan turned to Elena. "Implement Protocol Trojan Horse. We have work to do." For the next 5 days, humanity worked in secret. While publicly debating the merits of joining the Galactic Council, Earth's military and scientific communities worked around the clock on their countermeasures. On the 7th day, Thilax returned to the United Nations for Earth's answer. His confidence was palpable as he strode into the chamber, clearly expecting Earth's submission. President Kwan stood to address the assembly, her expression solemn. "Ambassador Thilax, after careful consideration, Earth has decided to decline the Council's invitation at this time." The chamber erupted in gasps as Thilax's skin darkened with emotion. "This is unprecedented. Perhaps you misunderstand the opportunity being offered." "We understand perfectly," President Kwan replied coldly. "We also understand the surveillance devices hidden in your gifts. We understand the weapons systems you concealed from us. And we understand the true nature of your Council's protection." Thilax's composure slipped for just a moment, revealing shock before his diplomatic training reasserted itself. "These accusations are baseless. The Council offers peace and prosperity to all who join." "Peace through submission is not peace, Ambassador," Elena interjected. "It's subjugation." Thilax's voice hardened. "The Council will be disappointed by your decision. I should warn you that non-aligned worlds face certain challenges in our galaxy: piracy, resource scarcity, isolation. The Council cannot extend its protection to those who refuse its governance." Elena stepped forward. "Is that a threat, Ambassador?" "Merely a statement of galactic reality, Commander." Thilax turned back to President Kwan. "You have one final opportunity to reconsider before I depart." President Kwan smiled, but there was steel in her eyes. "Our answer remains the same. We wish the Council well, but Earth will chart its own course among the stars." "Then you leave me no choice." Thilax touched a device on his wrist. "Council command. This is Ambassador Thilax. Earth has rejected our terms. Request immediate containment protocol." Nothing happened. Thilax tapped his device again, more urgently this time. "Council command. Respond." Elena stepped forward, a cold smile on her face. "They can't hear you, Ambassador. We've been jamming all outgoing transmissions from your vessel since you entered this building." "Impossible," Thilax hissed. "Your technology is not advanced enough." "About that," Elena interrupted, "we haven't been entirely forthcoming either. While you were busy underestimating us, we were studying you. Your ship's communications, your weapons systems, your propulsion technology." President Kwan's voice was calm but resolute. "You should look outside, Ambassador." The chamber's view screens activated, showing a live feed of Earth orbit. The Zephyrian vessel was now surrounded by dozens of smaller Earth ships, ships that hadn't existed a week ago. "How is this possible?" Thilax whispered, his confidence finally shattered. "Humanity has always been good at one thing, Ambassador," Elena replied. "Adaptation. You thought you were dealing with a naive species, easily manipulated and controlled. You were wrong. Humanity's countermove." Aboard the Zephyrian flagship, High Admiral Zorval received the emergency transmission from his surveillance drones orbiting Earth. What he saw made his 4 hearts skip simultaneously. Dozens of human vessels surrounded Ambassador Thalax's diplomatic cruiser, each bristling with weapons that shouldn't exist in the technological profile of Earth. "Impossible," he muttered, mandibles clicking in agitation. "How could they have developed quantum shielding? Even with our schematics, it would take decades." His second-in-command, Sub-Admiral Krell, studied the readings with disbelief. "The energy signatures don't make sense, sir. These aren't crude adaptations of our technology. These are innovations. They've taken our basic principles and improved upon them." This was unprecedented in the Zephyrian Alliance's long history of planetary acquisitions. Usually, offering outdated technology was enough to impress primitive species while ensuring they remained controllable. But these humans had seemingly leapfrogged centuries of development in mere days. On Earth, Commander Elena Reyes stood before the captured Ambassador Thalax, who now sat restrained in the United Nations Security Council chamber. "I don't understand," Thalax said, his voice stripped of its earlier diplomatic polish. "How did you build a fleet so quickly? How did you improve upon our designs?" Elena smiled. "You made a fundamental error in your assessment of humanity, Ambassador. You measured our technological advancement by our public infrastructure, our commercial products, our civilian capabilities. But humanity has always excelled at one thing above all others: preparing for threats." President Kwan stepped forward. "What you didn't know is that Earth united after we detected your approach 6 months ago. Not in fear, but in purpose. We pooled our resources, our brightest minds, our most advanced secret research." Dr. Williams entered the chamber carrying a small device that pulsed with blue energy. "We call it the Nexus Protocol, a quantum acceleration framework that can compress decades of technological development into months. It was theoretical until your arrival gave us the final pieces we needed." Thalax's eyes widened in genuine fear. "The Council has subjugated hundreds of species across 3 galactic quadrants. None have ever rejected membership. None have ever surpassed our technology." "That's where you made your second mistake," Elena continued. "You assumed that because we were less advanced in some areas, we were less capable. But human history is filled with technological leaps that occurred precisely when we faced existential threats." Meanwhile, aboard the EFS Defiance, Lieutenant Chen was leading a covert operation. Using the quantum shielding technology reverse-engineered from the Zephyrian gifts, a small team had infiltrated the massive Zephyrian mothership still lurking at the edge of the solar system. "Commander, you need to see this," Chen transmitted from deep within the alien vessel. "They have containment pods, thousands of them." The video feed showed rows upon rows of stasis chambers, each containing alien beings of different species. "They're not dead," Chen reported. "According to their systems, these are representatives of other civilizations. Some have been here for centuries." Elena's blood ran cold. Hostages. Insurance to ensure member worlds' compliance. Within hours, Earth forces had liberated the containment section of the Zephyrian mothership. As the stasis chambers were deactivated, the captive representatives began to awaken, confused, disoriented, but alive. Among them was Kalia, a representative from the Solarian Collective, one of the first civilizations subjugated by the Council centuries ago. "We lost all hope," Kalia told Elena, her translucent skin pulsing with emotion. "The Council took our leaders, altered our historical records, and installed puppet governments. Over generations, my people forgot that they had ever been free." Over the next week, Earth established communication with the homeworlds of the liberated representatives, revealing the Council's deception. Many responded with disbelief, their societies so thoroughly integrated into the Council's hierarchy that rebellion seemed unthinkable. But some listened, some remembered, and some began to resist. High Admiral Zorval faced the most difficult transmission of his long career as he addressed the Supreme Council directly. "The containment operation has failed," he reported grimly. "Not only have the humans rejected our terms, but they've liberated our insurance archives and established communication with member worlds. Most disturbing of all, they've shared their Nexus protocol with other species. The Supreme Counselor's holographic image flickered with rare agitation. This is unprecedented. No species has ever reversed our technological suppression measures. The entire system of control depends on technological superiority. There's more, Zorval continued reluctantly. The humans are forming a coalition of worlds, an alternative to the Council. They're calling it the Stellar Concordat, based on principles of mutual defense, technological sharing, and sovereign independence. 3 months later, Commander Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned Earth vessel Prometheus, the first ship built using fully integrated human-alien collaborative technology. Beside her stood representatives from 7 formerly subjugated species, now allies in the growing Concordat. Incoming transmission from the Galactic Council, Lieutenant Chen announced. The main view screen activated to show the Supreme Counselor himself, a being of almost energy-like appearance, the evolved form of the original founders of the Zephyrian Alliance. Commander Reyes, the Counselor began, his tone carefully measured. The Galactic Council wishes to open diplomatic relations with your Concordat. Elena raised an eyebrow. I believe Ambassador Tholax already attempted diplomacy. We found his terms unacceptable. The Council recognizes that errors were made in our approach, the Counselor replied. We propose new terms, equal exchange of technology, non-interference in internal affairs, perhaps even representation on the Council itself. Elena looked at her alien allies, each nodding their agreement. She turned back to the screen. The Concordat will consider your proposal, Counselor. But understand this, the days of the Council's unchallenged dominance are over. We don't seek conflict, but neither will we accept subjugation. Humanity has moved beyond that, and we're bringing the rest of the galaxy with us. As the transmission ended, Kalia approached Elena. They're afraid, she said softly. For millennia, the Council has known nothing but obedience from the stars. Now they face something new. Elena nodded, looking out at the vast expanse of space before them. They should be afraid. Not because we wish them harm, but because freedom is contagious, and humanity has never been good at taking orders from those who claim to be our superiors. The Prometheus accelerated to light speed, carrying with it humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy, not technology, but something far more powerful, the audacity to challenge the established order, and the conviction that independence was worth fighting for. Across thousands of worlds, for the first time in eons, oppressed species looked up at their night skies with something long forgotten: hope.